Queen Eleanor of Tabor pricks her finger on the thorns of a vivid red rose that is blooming in the middle of a white winter. She hopes for a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, hair as black as a raven's wings, and a heart as powerful as the rose when 3 droplets of blood fall into the snow. After giving birth to Snow White, the queen becomes ill and passes away many years later. Following her passing, an army of glass soldiers invades, and Snow White's father, King Magnus, and his troops fight them. After discovering a prisoner named Ravenna, King Magnus is fascinated by her beauty and marries her the following day. Ravenna, who is actually a strong witch, charmed her way into the kingdom with the help of the bogus glass army. She admits on their wedding night that she was used, harmed, and then abandoned by a monarch who resembled Magnus. Before assuming control of the kingdom, she murders him. Snow White is imprisoned in a tower for years after her childhood friend William and his father, Duke Hammond, managed to flee but failed to save her. Ravenna has a sense about Snow White, but she is unsure of why she let her live. Under Queen Ravenna's leadership, Tabor and its inhabitants decline. In order to preserve the spell her mother put over her as a child, which keeps Ravenna looking young, she regularly sucks the youth from the kingdom's young ladies. When Snow White reaches adulthood, her magic mirror informs Ravenna that unless she eats the girl's heart, which will make her immortal, Snow White will destroy her. Snow White flees into the dark forest, where Ravenna is powerless, and Ravenna sends her brother Finn to bring her the princess. In order to catch her, the queen strikes a deal with Eric the huntsman, a widower and drinker, who agrees to revive his wife in return. However, the huntsman aids Snow White in her escape after Finn shows that Ravenna does not, in fact, possess the ability to bring the dead back to life. After learning that Snow White is still alive, William departs the castle to locate her and joins Finn's gang as a bowman. Snow White charms a troll who assaults the huntsman, saving their lives. They travel to a fishing village where the ladies have deformed themselves so that they are of little use to Ravenna. After discovering Snow White's true identity, the huntsman abandons her to the women's care. When he sees Finn's men burning down the village, he rushes back. After avoiding them, Snow White and the huntsman come across a group of 8 dwarfs. Muir, a blind dwarf, believes that only Snow White has the power to overthrow Ravenna. Finn and his soldiers assault them as they pass through a sanctuary for fairies. Finn, his troops, and one of the dwarfs are killed in the ensuing combat. William travels with the gang to the castle of Hammond. Before escaping, Ravenna tricks Snow White into swallowing a poison apple by posing as William. Snow White is kissed by William, but nothing happens. She lets out one tear from her eye. The body of Snow White is brought to Hammond's castle. Her heart and strength remind him of his wife, Sarah, and the huntsman expresses his regret for not being able to save her. As 2 kisses of genuine love shatter the enchantment, he gives her a kiss without noticing a second tear escape her eyes. The Duke's army is roused by Snow White, who then organizes them to lay siege to Ravenna. The army enters the castle when the dwarfs breach the sewers and open the gates. Ravenna and Snow White fight. Snow White utilizes a technique the huntsman taught her to stab Ravenna in the heart, killing her just as she is ready to do so. Snow White's coronation as the new Queen of Tabor brings peace to the realm once more.